All right, guys, here we go. Episode 3 of Wandavision. We are going to get into it. I saw a bunch of you guys in the chat early, and I want to say thank you. But first, again from last week, we have 2/3 of the Pressable Defects. And Jem, let's start in the top corner. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
What's going on, guys? This episode was a little better, so I'm excited to talk about it a little bit.
Jay?
A little better. A little bit better.
Fucker.
Jem, what's going on?
What's going on, Gary? What's up, Matt? What's up, Jay? What up, everyone in the chat, watching live, everyone who's going to watch this on the replay. Hey, all I got to say is I told you so. Episode 3 was awesome. It's only going to continue to get better. Maybe you could call it a slow burn, but as you guys are going to see through this show, so many layers to this show, man, and I'm excited. This episode just let me know that my gut feeling was right. Like, towards the end, everyone's going to be like, yo, this WandaVision was serious, man.
So I said this last week before we started this episode, and I'm going to say it again. If you really didn't like WandaVision and you liked what we did on a show, I think you liked the episode a little bit more by the end, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we discussed a lot of stuff. And I feel like the same thing's going to happen tonight. If you didn't like episode 3 that much, I think by the end of tonight, you may have a different view of it, maybe a little bit better, because there's some information. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Not only did the show move forward, right, an overall story and start revealing a little bit more, pulling that curtain back a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But again, there's some speculation stuff. There's some books we're going to talk about and some characters we're going to talk about. But I'm going to go through. Let's do this real quick again. Like last week, we'll do the synopsis, just run through the episode. And like when there's something you want to talk about, guys, cut me off and we'll get into it. Mm-hmm. So the first thing right away we realized, and we knew this was happening at the end of the last episode, is we jumped to Technicolor. Mm-hmm. Right? We're done with the black and white. We were in the 70s. It's a safe bet.
Yeah, Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
Brady Bunch. Mary Tyler Moore beginning, I believe. There was I think the Brady Bunch was actually like the house. It seemed
like the exact stairs and the rock wall.
Yeah, the backyard.
Yeah, they did a good job of recreating these sets, man.
Yeah, that 70s tile by the stairs is spot on.
Yeah,
even the edits and the way that it's shot, it's like it's evolving as it did in those sitcoms throughout the decades.
Yeah, the hair, the clothes, the lingo, right? The word foxy came out, right? So everything, they're doing a really good job. And Matt, I'm giving you credit because last week we all talked about it. You said what they're trying to do, they're knocking out of the park. Whether you like it or don't like it, whether you're enjoying it or not enjoying it, they're killing it with the style, the dialogue, the sets, the
attention to detail that they're just, they're crushing it. So I'll say the same thing. Whether you liked what they're doing or not, they're doing it really well. So
I definitely think so.
Like
so we get that opening. We get that 1970s, again, Mary Tyler Moore-esque opening. And boom, we're right into the house. And Wanda's pregnant, right?
Like
we saw this. We saw
like really
before
pregnant.
our eyes.
Yeah, progressively getting even more pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, there's one. I got to write a note down.
You know what I thought was interesting about this episode? Like, I think they pulled back the curtain more so than the first 2 episodes. And even kind of showing the real world, or I don't know how I'm trying to word it, but like even the supporting characters witnessed more weird things, like with Vision running with a doctor on his back, or them seeing her pregnant when she wasn't pregnant the next day, and we even see them. What do you want to call them? Like, what do you call them in video games? Like the non-playable characters or whatever, like
NPOs or whatever,
NPCs,
right?
yeah.
NPCs, yeah.
But I think that term means something else now too. But anyway, the guy glitches out doing the hedges and stuff, and we start to see that maybe these other people are in on it, or they're just not noticing like all the weird stuff that's happening.
There's a lot that happens in this episode. So and like you're saying too, with people, more side characters are involved with what's going on now. Like it's not just 2 people at the dinner party. There's people.
Yeah.
So
it seems like everybody in the series is somebody.
It does. And so let's get into this now. She's pregnant. The doctor leaves.
I think we should mention that I don't know that we necessarily caught it on the last live, but there was these hints of children in both of the first 2 episodes, right?
Yep.
At the dinner table, asking how come they don't have children yet, and that kind of got them to glitch out. Then in the second episode, it was for the children, and then she was pregnant at the end. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, man, she has twins in the comics, right?" So then that all kind of led up to this episode,
right? She's pregnant and getting more and more pregnant by the minute.
Right.
But yet, no kids shown in any of the episodes yet, except for obviously hers.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting too. They told
No
all
neighborhood
episode 2 was
kids. Yep.
for the kids, but there's no
kids.
There's no
Were they
kids
Westview?
whatsoever. So I think that was purposeful.
So
Right.
Doctor checks her out. She's pregnant. Doctor leaves. It's literally Vision and Wanda. And Wanda is getting more and more pregnant. Her contractions start real quick. What is she? Well, they're decorating a little bit more, right? The baby's room. They're painting the
Painting the
store.
pelican on the wall.
Yep.
Right. There's that. There's the mobile with the
butterflies.
and she didn't even realize. And this was a question too. Was it her that turned the butterflies into real butterflies?
Yeah.
Because she didn't even realize she did it.
I
Right.
think what that was, I think that was Wiccan.
You
Wiccan
think it
messing with her.
Oh, inside of her stomach.
Inside of her belly, yeah. Because she's
See,
like,
I'm not really familiar
So
with
Wiccan-
Wiccan's power
yeah.
set.
So Wiccan, if you guys know from the comics, Wiccan has the powers of his mother, and Vision kind of says that he's like, oh, if it's anything strong like you know,
Mhm.
and then you have Speed, who's like Quicksilver. So it could have been Wiccan, it could have been her subconsciously, but I think it was more of a nod to Wiccan moving the butterflies.
Could be. It
Yeah,
could be
makes
that
sense.
or kind of what they showed throughout the episode is as she gets more pregnant and more pain, she loses control of her powers and shit just starts happening around her.
Yeah,
So it's hard
Because
to know.
she's-
Yeah, but that's a good point, Joe. I didn't think about it like that.
When she goes into labor, right, and starts having contractions and the water breaks, and all of a sudden it's raining from the ceiling, pipes are bursting in other people's houses, allegedly. We really don't know.
That's
Because
true.
it was Grenadine. What's her name?
Grenadine,
Geraldine.
Monica Rambeau?
Geraldine.
Geraldine. She's the
shows
one
up.
she comes over and says the pipes burst in her house.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying about like supporting cast. Like she ends up seeing the picture spinning and she just kind of brushes it off. And I noticed right away her necklace, and I was like, "Dang, is that an Easter egg? Are they going to talk about it?" And I was surprised that they kind of went all in on that. But I guess we could get to that in a little bit. But
They focused right in on that. So she's Wanda's having contractions. Vision literally runs off to go get the doctor. Geraldine comes over. She's looking for a bucket because, again, I'm going to use air quotes here. Pipes burst and water came from her ceiling too. We truly don't know because later another character references that she doesn't even have a home.
right.
We'll get into that. So now Wanda's trying to, the stork, there's a stork walking around. She's trying to not show Monica. I say Monica. What is her name again? Geraldine?
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
Yeah.
Trying
no,
to
it's
show
not.
that she's not pregnant.
It's changed again. Now she says it's not Geraldine, it's Foxy. So her name is changing each different show and each
I
different
thought
time
she was
period.
like saying, "Ooh, that's Foxy."
No, she said, "Call me Foxy."
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
her name is changed. Next, they'll probably be Monica.
It could
Maybe.
be if she
Yeah,
even comes
never.
back in. We don't
She'll be-
know.
oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah. We got to talk about that, right?
So the babies come, right? We could jump right to them. Geraldine or Foxy or Monica, whatever you want to call her, delivers the first baby boy. And Vision shows up with the doctor. Monica, Foxy, whatever you want to call her, Geraldine and the doctor leave. Wanda has the second baby boy. We now have Tommy and Billy. We'll get into that. And in the meantime, all hell is breaking loose while Monica's there. While the contractions are coming, the pain is coming. Scarlet Witch, she's losing control. There's things spinning. There's things breaking. You got ice machine going off, bubbles in the sink. You have the vacuum going, things. She's losing control. And Monica's watching all of it happen like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just kind of playing it off like, all right, whatever. After the two babies come, that's when things get interesting.
Yep.
That's when even more is being revealed.
So what's happening again that makes Monica, or if, I guess she's also Photon, is when she becomes a superhero, right? Is that what Deep Dive is saying?
Spectrum.
So what makes her? What
she goes through.
they bring up Quicksilver, and I was like, "Dang, I love that! I love because we haven't really talked about that from Age of Ultron. We haven't really talked about it, right? So why did she bring it up again? Something about them being siblings, and I used to have a brother too.
I used to have
Yeah,
a
it was a
twin.
twin.
I'm a
It
twin.
was a twin.
I'm a
Yeah.
twin. That's what it was. Yeah. And then you can see Geraldine. She's getting nervous, man. She's like, "Oh crap!" She's talking.
She kind of went for it.
But then
Yeah,
she hit
she-
him with
she-
the, Ultron killed him, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was like, that's when we start bringing the reality in.
You're right.
Yep.
Exactly. That's
Almost
when,
like Geraldine is bringing the outside into this perfect world, right? This TV world, this perfect family, this sitcom. She's bringing in a bad emotion. She's bringing in the death of her brother.
in every episode so far, Vision brought it in this episode too. And every time there's a bad emotion or a bad thought that happens to come in, Wanda rewinds it. Whether it's Wanda, whether it's AIM, whether it's Sword, they rewind it and they kind of get rid of it. Just like Monica kind of got pulled out, It
was a different rewind too, right? It wasn't like a. It was just like you didn't even.
It was like a cut.
Yeah, that's what Joey Does Comics just said that. He said something when Vision said something's wrong, and then all of a sudden, I honestly for a second thought something went wrong with my television.
So did I the first time I watched it because there was no rewind.
No.
It didn't do that.
Yep.
It just cut. It like snipped
back.
out the piece.
It just literally skipped back. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, she was very concerned. He was very concerned. Something's not right here. And then, whoop, she just cut that right out. Go back.
Gone.
Got it done. So while Monica or Geraldine is inside talking with Scarlet Witch, Vision is outside, and Agnes is out there, as well as Jay's boy,
Herb.
And they're talking when Vision walks out with the doctor. They're like whispering.
Suspiciously talking.
Yes. And simultaneously, two things are happening. While Vision is outside talking to Agnes and Herb, they're telling him that Geraldine doesn't belong here. She's not from here. She doesn't have a family. She doesn't have a home. While on the inside of the house, you have Geraldine kind of going for it. It almost seems like she's trying to snap Scarlet Witch out of this facade.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, it seems like Herb wants to tell Vision something.
Right.
But Agatha squashes that right away.
What do you think he wants to tell him?
I think he wants to kind of tell him the truth, like this, this ain't real.
But are Herb and Agatha are they real people in this town, or are they part of AIM, or?
I think they're a part. I think Herb is a little bit of an antagonist, and I think Agatha is a villain. She's working on the dark side.
So she's probably got AIM involved, or AIM. They're working for her, or she's working for them.
I'll be honest.
Talk about it a little bit later, because this town could be a real place that she's in.
I think it is.
Right. So that's what made me think: are some characters in on it and some are not, or are some stuck in this kind of?
The reason I think this is a real town is they show the actual Westview sign outside of that bubble, right? Outside of Scarlet Witch's bubble, which is a real modern day sign.
But it seems like Herb and Agnes, they know what's up, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's actually, we just talked about it. Jem thinks a little differently, but I think there are three parties involved. I think you have S.H.I.E.L.D., I think you have Sword, and I still say Mephisto is involved somehow, some way.
There's
if it's not Mephisto, it's going to be the witches. It has to be a clan.
Right.
It has to be.
I don't think we're going to see Mephisto in here. I think having AIM and Sword and Wanda and Vision and the twins and Agnes, I think that's enough. I can't see them adding such a crazy layer to this.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Mephisto. So we seen him teased in the stained glass window, which is him without a doubt in the Loki trailer. I don't even think we'll see him in that. I think Mephisto is going to be slow, and they're going to kind of introduce him just like they mentioned Thanos a bunch before they actually showed him in an end cutscene,
Yeah, I could see the show ending with Mephisto.
With Agnes and Mephisto. Maybe she's reporting to him at the very end or something.
Yep. That's he's got to be involved. At this point, I think he is. So the show is going to end. Here's what happens. I mean, most everybody here has definitely watched it. You got basically Vision outside. Agnes leaves. Jay's boy Herb, he just kind of goes away. He goes inside. He wants to tell Vision something. He wants to tell him basically we're all trapped. Or
who is he telling? Vision is dead. So who is he? Who is he talking to?
It's so funny that you were going to say that, because I was going to say throughout this whole time, you would think that this is just Wanda's, reality that she created, but yet there's two or three scenes now in 3 episodes that Vision is by himself without Wanda. And how is that possible if it's supposed to be Wanda's reality? So it was Vision, right, at the meeting with the guys, right, where he eats the gum, and then again when it's Herb and Agatha or Agnes, however we want to call her. Those are the only 2 times he's by himself, and the doctor. I'm sorry, so it is 3. I said there was 3.
When he was at work too the first time.
That's true. So how is that possible that he's having his own scenes when it's supposed to be Wanda's reality? So there's more to that than we've thought about so far.
So something is up with Vision too, because he's a computer. He doesn't make mistakes, and every episode something's up.
Yeah, he's usually he's
on the calendar.
He's calm, cool, and collected. I don't know if everyone's thinking it's Wanda's world that she's creating. I don't think that. I think it's either AIM or Sword creating that reality so she doesn't fly off the hinge, because they know how much of a threat she is. So they're trying to pretty much contain her. And then that's why I think they actually rewind Vision and that stuff, because
maybe
we all see what happens in House of M. They don't want Wanda flying off the handle and just absolutely losing control. So I think they're actually trying to control her with this environment, almost like the Truman Show and like a movie set,
right?
Rather than her creating it. I don't think she has anything to do with it. I think she's just placed in this setting.
But the thing is, Herb and Agnes are trying to tell Vision something. They're not trying to tell Wanda, like, hey, this isn't real. They're trying to tell Vision, like, he doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. I don't know, man. Is he a figment that she created? I don't know. Maybe.
The big thing to me about Vision is the fact that he couldn't calculate the due date of the baby. He was off by a lot.
But maybe it was going faster. Maybe he was like, at this rate, it'll be Monday, but it's tripling every time or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It could be. I don't he's making too many mistakes. Now, let me ask you this, guys. At the end of Infinity War, was Shuri able to get Vision's consciousness out, or at least a piece of it?
Yeah, you know what? I think she said she was able to, or that was before Thanos ripped the stone from his mind.
Right. Yep.
Or was there still a piece of him removed? Like, what if he's not 100% Vision, but there's still...
He's got the stone in his head in the show, though.
Yeah, but that's not real, right? So I don't know. So it could be. This is why I like talking. So it could be they're trying to keep Wanda under control. That's Sword, right?
Right.
Maybe the witches infiltrated. Maybe AIM infiltrated. Maybe there's an issue in there that Sword couldn't take care of.
All right, so let's talk about it. So Geraldine, she mentions Ultron. It brings the real world into this reality, and then she notices her necklace, and the pendant is the same logo that was on the little helicopter that was red. The logo that was that was also on the Beekeeper's back, who we're thinking is AIM, but the Sword logo was on him too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, we're saying it's AIM, we're saying it's Sword. Maybe it's one and the same, but it lets you know. Well, I guess we'll talk about it in a little bit about the Beekeeper, because I want to go back to that. But she notices that her pendant, and she's like, hey, what is that? Who are you really? And we can see that Geraldine knows who she really is, and that she's not really a character in this made-up world.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's acting. There's actors involved.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why. So I don't think Sword pulled Monica out, because if Sword would have pulled Monica out, they wouldn't have had drawn their guns on her and treated her as a threat. That might have been AIM that pulled her out, because she was perceived as a threat when she comes out of that bubble. The cars pull up, they have guns on her.
But was she pulled out, or was she pushed out?
Wanda fucking.
I think Wanda ejaculated her right out of the fucking.
Okay, so they have a confrontation. Vision comes back in. Geraldine's gone, and Wanda's happy, like, I took care of her. She had to go or whatever. And we see her getting thrown out of what looks like a bubble, and they have set up some type of perimeter around it with like stadium lights or whatever. Geraldine gets pushed, thrown out of that bubble, that reality bubble, and then she gets ran up on, like you guys mentioned, trucks, weapons drawn, and this and that.
And she was still covered in the red aura of Wanda when she came out.
Here's another little tidbit. If you go back and watch the original trailer for this show, that scene is changed. In that scene, you see Wanda blast Monica out of straight up blast her out of the circle. And now they changed it. It was different. Yeah. She was almost pulled out. So you guys got to go check that out too.
Okay, good. I just assumed that she pushed her out and like deliberately. Like she knew what she was doing. She get out of this world. You don't belong here, and like you're out of the Truman Show.
So here I've got 2 quotes just from this episode. And when I say, and we talked about this, the curtain's being pulled back, we're starting to see something. So here's the first quote from this episode from the commercial, from the soap commercial, the Hydra soap or whatever.
Yeah.
Escape to a world all your own where your problems just float away when you want to get away, but don't want to go anywhere. That's the first one. And then Vision quoting Shakespeare. This is huge. This is Shakespeare's quote through Vision. All the world's a stage. All the men and women merely players.
Yeah, they're telling you that's a bubble that she's living in. It's not reality.
Yeah.
Is it her bubble? Are they controlling her? Is it Sword? Is it AIM? Is it Mephisto? Is it the witches? What is going on? So like a lot was shown. But still a ton of questions.
But remember the radio. Who's doing this to you, Wanda? So is she doing it to herself, or did somebody trap her somehow? You know what I mean?
Right. It could have been Mephisto, the witches, and you have
Agnes.
Maybe it's AIM who trapped her.
I think
Sword's outside. Or maybe that's AIM outside. We really don't know who's out there.
I was going to say, I think at this point you got AIM and Sword, and I don't think anybody knows AIM is the bad guy. I think we're still operating under the pretext that AIM is a good entity, okay? But I also think that this reality was created in Westview. I don't know if it was created by Wanda or if she's been manipulated to create it, okay? Or somebody bad is pulling the strings here, and that's why it's happening. But they are definitely inserting people into this reality without her knowing. So you have some people that are just part of the reality that you created, and some people are real and they've been inserted, like Monica Rambeau. So maybe like Herb, you know.
So Matt, check this out. So Monica Rambeau's planted in there, but and again, I don't know that we have AIM confirmed, but we'll talk about the Beekeeper, True. Right? He's got the Sword logo, but he looks like he snuck in. He went underground.
He snuck in,
through like the sewers, and then he came up out of it. So why did he sneak in when they already have people on the inside?
Yeah, who knows what it could be. And I like what Joseph Hildago says, because he was saying what I was just thinking. What happens after Avengers Endgame? So that's going to be the biggest key, guys, to what happens to Wanda after Endgame. Like, how did she end up in this predicament? What sucks is they're half-hour episodes, and we're halfway through the season already. So there's a lot of unanswered questions for them to fill the gap in 4 episodes. Do I think they're going to do it? I don't think they're going to answer every question in 4 half-hour episodes.
Well,
yeah, that's true. That's a good one right there.
Is there 8 or 9?
8. There's 8. So we got 5 more.
We got a super chat from Oilers Workshop. I think it's called Hydra Soak because she may not be in a sensory deprivation, because she may be in a sensory deprivation tank. AIM made it under the supervision of Hydra using Agatha.
I think Agatha is definitely the one that's creating some of the chaos here, whether she wants to or not. She's a witch. Obviously, we know in the comics. I'm sure she is here. I'm sure they're not just using the name. Obviously, they're not even using her name. We're assuming that's Agatha Harkness. Yeah. Right? All but confirmed. So she's pulling the strings in one way, shape, or form for sure.
So that's pretty much the episode.
Put that one back up about the stork, because I think that's a good point.
Yeah, it shows that she's not in control. She's not. She couldn't get rid of it. Remember, they went out of their way to show she tried to red smoke it, and she couldn't get rid of it 3
times. Yeah.
Why couldn't she get rid of it? Because she's not in control of the environment.
She wasn't the one who brought it in, right? I mean,
she's not in control of everything.
Right. She's not in complete control. Right.
Yep.
Like she could move the vacuum by herself, but she can't get rid of the stork.
Right.
But so we didn't really talk about why was it important? Like, she had these twins. Why did she have kids in this world? Right. Why did she bring these two, Billy and
Tommy,
right? We're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about some comics as well, right? But was this something that a lot of people in the chat, I see Agnes pushed her to have kids? Maybe whoever's got her captive wanted her to manifest these children for whatever reason.
Well, we said it before, right? Each episode has pushed towards children, right? The first episode, they were, well, why don't you have any kids? Second episode for the children. And now we get children. There's 8 episodes, and we're on episode 3. We have kids. Now, I'm really curious. We've been jumping decades at a clip, right? Are we going to go into the 80s next episode, which I think is the Halloween episode? Are we going to have 2 10-year-olds?
Gary wants the damn Halloween episode.
I've been trying.
We could, Gary. I don't know, because obviously, like, time is going to work different. With this is happening day to day for them, but it's looking decades different, and the pregnancy lasted a few hours, or not even a whole 24 hours.
Yeah, here. Look at Guy over here. Was the red smoke her a representation of something else?
I think the red smoke got to be Mephisto, and I think the kids are I think Mephisto put those kids there, and that's
not
why
her red, right? Somebody else said that's not her red power. Her red power looks like the ether, right? So
she doesn't do smoke, does she?
I think Agatha is there to watch over Mephisto's twins.
Because so what's the tie with the twins to Mephisto in the comics?
I don't think there is any.
There is. Yep, there is.
Is there?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
In the comics, I think
Wiccan and Speed.
She's carrying these childs that hold like the demon seeds of Mephisto. Correct. Or something.
Yep.
So damn, you know what? The Mephisto connection makes a lot more sense now.
And plus, you got to remember, in that second episode, they're like, for the children, and the next a sentence or two after that, Agatha says, the devil's always here, and they're like, oh yeah. So I think he's a player.
I don't think we could be talking about it like this, to be honest.
If what?
If it wasn't a good show, we wouldn't be able to have lengthy discussions like this. If it was just some whack Bewitched show, that would be it, and it would be over.
So here's my thing on the show. Am I enjoying the show? Yes, I'm enjoying it because I'm trying to piece together a puzzle. It's almost like watching a mystery.
We are.
Comic book wise, I'm not enjoying it. Comedy, I chuckled at a couple of things,
but it has so many ties to the comics.
That's why I am enjoying it, because I'm just sitting there piecing everything together.
Here you go. We got a super chat, $5 Canadian from Reno's Comics. If it is Mephisto, could Agatha be Cynthia Von Doom being controlled, and this show leading into Doctor Strange and tie in Doom into the MCU?
Well, Jay will tell you. I've been saying to Jay for a long time that I think that's how you get Mephisto. Doom is going to be by Doom's mother, Cynthia Von Doom, because that and especially with Illuminati, they talked about Illuminati. That all ties together. I think Agatha Harkness is her own character. I don't think she's Cynthia Von Doom.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the specs. You guys want to grade this episode? Now, let's talk specs first. Here we go.
Do it.
I'm going to start out. Actually, we're going to go back a little bit to show this, which is actually this.
The hexagon.
Yep.
Which was all over the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, everywhere.
Somebody also said in the chat, and I forgive me, I don't remember who you were, said that in Guardians of the Galaxy, that shape, what is that, the hexagon?
Oh, that's how they hopped through the time. I saw that. Right. Yeah. That's how it was like.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it was like light speed, right? From Star Wars. It was just, I forgot what they were called. Not portals, but
time hops, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
They taught Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go. I'm trying to look at all the pictures here we got. All right, let's do this first because I want to try to keep it somewhat in chronological order. So, Jay, let me find it here. You were all over this one.
Guys, I said it last week. You got Phil Jones here, right? Now we know who his wife is. We know his wife is Dottie. Phil Jones, if you Google him, Phil Jones Marvel, you'll see he's married to Arcana, who's part of the Squadron Supreme. So now we know Dottie Jones is Arcana. Whether they're going to use her moving forward or not, another little Easter egg you see the two twins in the lamp. I picked that up right away. So the newspaper also says 2 fire hydrants, and it almost says Hydra on Main Street. I think fire hydrants, you got 2 of them. I think that represents the twins, and they're both red. I think that represents Mephisto's kids. So this was a big scene, a quick scene. And like I said, you got Arcana, you got the twins there, you got the newspaper. So I think this was the biggest Easter egg of the episode, in my opinion.
I didn't even remember that scene.
And here she is, right here, guys.
Here you go. There's Arcana right now. Look at the resemblance between
like blonde hair and everything.
Her and Dottie Jones.
Yep.
So guys, a good book. I looked it up on eBay today. Prices were $7 for her first appearance. For $7, you might as well roll the dice. Whether she becomes something or not, it's a nice spec book. It's Defenders 112. So might be worth picking up, guys, if they decide to go forward.
If you see it in your local comic shop, it's probably in a dollar bin somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's her right there. You see her right in the middle with the green on.
So here you go, guys. Defenders 112. She's all but confirmed, right? I mean, let's assume, too, that nothing will be confirmed until the last 2 or 3 episodes with actual characters.
Right. And Gary, you have the pictures. The one I had or talked about, I think ties right into this. So I don't know if you want to throw that one up.
Yeah, let's go here.
Yeah, so me and Jay definitely talked about Arcania. And I don't know if she fits in or not. Or is it just a nod to say that the Squadron Supreme is coming? Right. And right here, Avengers 69 is the first, I guess, kind of cameo. They were called the Squadron Sinister at this point. And then in Avengers 85, they were actually called the Squadron Supreme. Arcania was like the 5th member. She was added after this of the Squadron Supreme. Mm-hmm. So the Squadron Supreme has been rumored a little bit here and there. And the other tie, Squadron Supreme has ties to in the comics, ties to Wanda, Hawkeye, and Quicksilver. It also has ties to the Roxxon Corporation. I saw somebody mention that earlier. So the Roxxon Corporation, we know, was Easter egged in the Loki trailer, right? The Roxxon supermarket. And then I think it was in a previous MCU movie, there was like the Roxxon oil tanker, one of the ships.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that's like a big storyline for Squadron Supreme. Roxxon's an evil corporation. They use the Squadron Supreme to kind of defend off the Avengers. So there's a lot of ties to the Squadron Supreme.
Well, and Roxxon, we may get more news on them in Thor.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So the pieces are already starting to fit together. So is it Arcania, or is it just a nod to the Squadron Supreme? Like Jay said, it's a $10 book, $7 book. It's probably worth it. If I had to take a guess, I think it's more of a nod to Squadron Supreme as opposed to that specific character. That, and I could be wrong, but if I had to flip a coin, I would say it's more to the team.
Guesses here. We don't know anything. I mean, we're just guessing.
Yeah, I just don't think Marvel would put in Phil Jones's wife and have her look so similar to her if it wasn't. Sure. They put that in there for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
100%. I agree. Look, Marvel doesn't skip a beat.
No.
It almost seems like there's no real fluff. There's no filler. Everything is something, if that makes sense. Like, they've built this universe. They're not going to half-ass characters. Everyone's relevant.
True. Yep.
So let's go. How about before the babies come? Right? We've got this situation going on, right?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, right?
We talked
this
about
is not Wanda.
I don't think it is.
No,
it's not. It's not something like I've ever seen.
What was the point of that, though?
I think that was just to show that Wanda's not running something here. I think that's to show that this isn't her world. I think Wanda's put there.
Or was it to say that, like, the babies are coming, there's nothing you could do to stop it?
Right. You can't stop the stork.
Because the stork, right.
I like that.
Could be. So, all right, let's see. The babies come, and this is what we're looking at now.
So, yeah. Okay, guys. So, Vision and the Scarlet Witch. This is the first appearance of Thomas and Billy. They're not referred to as Wiccan and Speed till much years down the line. But another book. I didn't check the price on this. But you could see, guys, right off the bat, you got Grim Reaper there, who is already, mentioned a ton.
Right on the bottom there.
Yeah, right at the bottom.
He's shown basically in that animated intro, his helmet.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and there's another piece of the Grim Reaper we'll see later on. But again, a book that might be worth grabbing. It's probably reached its peak now. But, if it cools off and you're a fan of the show, something you might want to grab.
So there you go. Let me take this one off. How about this from Fran? In order to give her sons proper souls, Wanda used the life fragments from a villain named Mephisto, who later devoured the babies to regain control of the fragmented souls embedded in their bodies.
That was in the comic.
That's the comic. So it's hard. Is that really going to happen in the show since they left so much important stuff?
Maybe not the same way, but it feels like there's a connection there somehow, right?
I'll tell you what, just to touch on Fran's comment, I could totally see that happen. Wanda already lost her brother. She already lost Vision. It could be that her losing these two kids is what pushes her over the edge because she's on the verge of it now. So that I could definitely see that happen, and that's a great.
What if she took the soul of her brother and Vision and put him in the kids?
Does Vision have a soul?
Yeah,
he's a synthesis, whatever.
AI.
Let's see. All right, we have the kid. All right, you're talking about Wiccan and you're talking about Speed, right? So let's go into this. This book is already through the roof, guys.
Super pricey. Super
not much
pricey
of a spec here, but
not much of a spec at all. And this one is right behind it. Was it? No, not this one, right? It was 10. 10. Where did I put
10's a money book.
Where did I put 10?
Speed. It's in there.
It's in there some. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
That's the one you want.
Yep. Another book that you can definitely find out there, guys.
Oh, you can still find this.
They refer to this as the first appearance too. It's a first appearance as them as an adult. You know, you get that first appearance as babies, and then you have their first appearance as an adult. So a book you could find, man, out in the wild for sure.
Yeah, I think there's definitely people sleeping on this, but this is not a cheap book. And then you have the poor man's version is here, correct?
Yep.
That's it's the next. You go down the line like we always talk about. If you can't get 1, you can't get 10, then you get 12. So,
all right. So we talked about the witch. We talked about the twins. We've talked about the intro, Ames, and the babies are here. And again, these two things are happening simultaneous. So let's go into Agnes first. I'm going to show you a few clips, a few little stills of her with the brooch.
So now, notice the pendant. And
the pendant. So we've got the 50s, the 60s. She's wearing it again. And now the 70s, it's still on there. And Jay, what do you got there?
So when you zoom in on it, guys, when you zoom in on that pendant, it's a Grim Reaper in the middle. You could see his sickle, and it's two kids on each side. So, like I said, that's definitely a nod to the Grim Reaper. He has something to do with this. We'll see what. We already seen Wonder Man, and we all know that Grim Reaper is the brother of Wonder Man. We've seen that little tidbit Easter egg. So you haven't seen Agatha without this pendant yet. And when you zoom in on it, you finally get to see what it is. So there you go.
So help me out. Why is Grim Reaper a big deal?
We don't know.
But even in the comics, like what I guess he was an Avengers villain, right?
Yeah, he was one, and he was an early on big time Avengers villain. I don't know how he ties in. I don't know if he's going to be a pawn of Mephisto. I don't know if he's a pawn of Agatha. I don't know if
Agatha a pawn of him.
Right, exactly. We don't know. There's so many unanswered questions that we're piecing together each episode. So we'll see.
Now we also have Jay's boy
glitching out.
Yeah, guys. So this
particular scene happened earlier in the episode, but by the end of the episode, Agnes is out here talking with Herb.
You see that? So here's the thing. You see Herb, guys. There's only one major Herb in Marvel Comics, and it's High Evolutionary, who's tied in to the Avengers and tied into everybody. He's cutting this yellow brick wall. And I'm like, this has to be something. This brick wall has to be something. So if you actually look up the first appearance of the High Evolutionary, Thor 134, which is a great book to get. Right here, you see a yellow brick floor. And when you go to his second appearance in Thor 135, you could see him there on the top left corner. He's standing on a yellow brick floor. So I think that pretty much confirms. I could be wrong, but that looks so similar to me. There's only one Herb in Marvel. It's the High Evolutionary. And that brick floor, to me, represents that brick wall that he's cutting through. So there you go.
Look at Jay doing work over there, huh?
Doing work, man.
Detective skills right there.
There you go.
Right. Now, we'll bring up this scene. Now, you see the earrings we were just talking about?
Yeah, no, they got that shape to them. Yeah.
Right? Well, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they're 8-sided. Never mind. These are octagons.
These are different? Okay.
These are different. These are different because we talked, if you're getting here late, we talked about this. But she's definitely got the different earrings. But more importantly, we want to get this. So they made this so noticeable during the episode. I think everyone caught it. And eventually, Wanda caught it. And she knows that symbol. She's seen it on the helicopter. She saw it on the Beekeeper. For some reason, to her, this is bad because they're almost trying to break into here, right? You see the sword symbol. It's almost like a disturbance in Wanda's world.
Right. And remember, Herb and Agatha were even telling Vision that she doesn't belong here. She doesn't have a home. She's not one of them or whatever.
Yep. So Wanda sent her back home, which was right back outside to the real world.
Yeah.
And again, this is the sword symbol. It's pretty well known now. Sword is involved somehow. So that's it for the whole episode. I don't know. We lost Jay, but that was it for the whole episode. Is there anything else we didn't touch on?
I mean, not on the episode. I had a question for you guys when you want to jump to the kind of more of the theories.
Yeah, like I'm all about the theories at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So this is something that Guy brought up to me. So we talked last week about the wine, right? The pouring of the wine. So he went back and he stopped it again, and it said in smaller letters. Hold on, let me just read it here. Shit. It said Maison de Memphis. Okay. So I guess that means house of, and then it says Empress. So is it House of M? So my question is, number one, when are we going to start seeing kind of the mutant side of Scarlet Witch / Wanda? And do we get kind of a House of M storyline here where that's how maybe mutants are introduced, or that's maybe some mutants are destroyed, but we don't technically have mutants in this version of the MCU yet. So does that happen do we start to get that in WandaVision? Do we get some of her mutant storyline or not?
I can absolutely see it. And the reason I want to say that is because WandaVision was supposed to run right into Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And there's been rumors everywhere that Professor X is showing up in Doctor Strange. The Illuminati are coming. So why not start teasing mutants right before one of the biggest, most important mutants is put on the big screen?
Yeah, and
I absolutely could see that happening.
Allegedly, she's a villain. And that's where I could see those kids being taken away or killed, or, Mephisto abducts them in some way and she goes off the deep end. But I'm telling you, man, listen, I'm telling you, Doctor Strange too. You got Brother Voodoo coming in. That's going to be a big time movie, man. That movie's going to set up a lot moving forward.
Johnny Dakota, I think, is kind of saying what I was hinting at. Yeah.
Do we see instead of her saying no more mutants?
Maybe.
I think it's weird to use House of M to create mutants when House of M was really there to destroy all this.
Yep.
Now, the other thing is that she in the comics is a mutant, and they had Strucker teased in that watch commercial. So it's like, do they find out that Strucker didn't really create her, that she really is a mutant, and that, I don't know, to go down that rabbit hole,
Right.
I don't know if they're going to consider Wanda a mutant, or because they kind of gave her powers with the Infinity Stone, or did the Infinity Stone,
they were mutants. That's what they called them because they couldn't use mutants at the time, but they could retcon that,
Yeah.
But how about that's how you bring Magneto in?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Maybe, hey, you weren't really created by Strucker. He just unleashed what was already in you because of your father's genes or something like that.
Yeah, because I'm going to be upset. I'll tell you what, I'll be upset if they don't bring Magneto in as, he's coming. If they don't bring her in as Quicksilver and Wanda's father, that's going to be whack in my opinion.
So we got a $9.99 super chat from Oilers Workshop. Did you guys talk yet about confirmed that Evan Peters as Quicksilver is in WandaVision? The Spanish voice actor confirmed they were doing his voice for the Spanish dubs in Central America.
Heard that.
We didn't even touch on that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
He's the better Quicksilver.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's in next episode.
It could be.
Well, remember,
maybe
the actor that plays Vision says like the next episode is going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
All right, because we talked about this too a little bit like beforehand, where after the next episode, we have no trailers, correct? Like, we don't know what happens at all after the next episode.
Well, somebody in the chat mentioned Agnes says something to Vision about like, well, at least I'm not dead or something like that.
Yeah,
Something.
I'm not dead.
She's
You
sitting in
are.
a car, and he was standing next to her, or something like that. Yeah.
But
She
she
said
could have
something along those
on her
lines.
like little jokes, like about her husband or something.
That's true.
She's a major player in the show.
Oh, 100%.
Major.
It's so crazy because there's so many different ways they could do all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Between Mephisto, and there's ties to Doctor Doom there, and there's ties to, Doctor Doom's mother. Then we're talking about mutants. Can they do mutants with Wanda? Do they do mutants with Eternals? Right? How Kirby explained it back in the 7th. Do they do that? I mean, there's so many ways that they could bring these storylines and characters in. It's just a matter of how are they going to do it? How much are they going to retcon it? How much are they going to have to kind of walk back because of previous movies, or do they not want to do that? So they have to kind of recreate things. So it's going to be interesting. I know that.
Marvel has their timeline probably for years and years and years to come, guys. They're just setting the foundation, and they're just going to keep moving,
So not to change the subject at all, because we are talking about WandaVision, but if they dabble in the House of M storyline, that is an extremely recent modern storyline.
I know. Yeah.
Kind of gives you hopes for Null, doesn't it?
No, I think Null is gonna come sooner than we ever thought he would, with how recent they go into comic book stories. I mean, even Winter Soldier wasn't that old of a story. And I'm trying to think, is House of M the most
2 years old?
House of M is a little older than that.
Yeah,
it's gotta be 4 or 5
years older.
Yeah, but listen, that ain't even the most recent. Look at Gore the God Butcher.
Right, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah,
Look at Gore the God Butcher. He's a relatively new character, and how do you bring in Gore the God Butcher without bringing in the Necro Sword and Null leading up to that?
The Gore thing made me think because of those ties. So is Gore the most recent comic book creation, or the fastest one to be given a live action treatment?
I'm actually
Riri?
Thank you so much for that $9.99.
Riri's not getting live action though, is she?
I think
it's animated
is Spider-Gwen, isn't it?
But not live action.
Yeah,
live action.
Is Riri going to be
Spider-Gwen? That came before Gore, I think.
Yes.
Spider-Gwen was like 2014, 2015. Gore is probably like what, 2018 or something?
We can look it up on the fly.
Is Ironheart going to be animated, or is that live action?
I don't know. Maybe it is live action.
If it is, then that's the newest.
I think Null is teased at the end of Thor: God of Thunder.
Gore is 2013.
Oh wow. Okay, so maybe so Spider-Gwen might be a couple years newer then.
Spider-Gwen is
Miles
2014.
But see, when we're talking about Miles, Gwen, and Ironheart, it's like those are all kind of already existing characters with different people playing them. Where Gore is a completely character.
All right, House of M came out in 2005. I screwed up. I was thinking House of X Powers of 10.
Yeah, I still think 30 years was 1970.
That what?
Yeah. I know. It's so funny you said that. It's true.
I don't think the 90s was 30 years ago. So when you say something, it's like my things are thrown off.
Made me feel old.
Jem, speaking of Gore, I seen a custom Gore statue. Holy smokes.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That shit was ridiculous.
I think Red Titan had it up. Crazy.
Oh, God. So, yeah.
All right, so let's go around. Let's grade this episode. We've been scaling them 1 to 10. So Matt, you go first. You're up there in the corner.
I keep going first tonight. All right.
All right. Well, listen to this. I'm going to give you an idea here. Episode 1, you gave a 3.
That's what I gave it. I thought
you both did. But
I had a purple label. I had 2 grades.
Yeah, we don't go by labels. But episode 2. You came back with the strongest. You were at a 7.
Yeah.
So where are you now with episode 3?
I'll give this the same because it had I give it a 7.5. How about that? 7.5.
Right, 7.5.
Because the ending of both were really good. This one had a better ending though. So that's
all right,
I'm at. 7.5.
Jay's giving it a 6 and keep it moving.
All right, I'm going to tell you why I'm going to give it a 6. Because yeah, exactly. 6, 6, and 6. So we got Mephisto. Yeah, guys, I'm going to give it a 6. I am enjoying it, and the reason I'm enjoying it, like I touched on before, is because it's getting me to read comic books again and find these little clues. I think episode 4 is going to be the episode where I might give an 8 or a 9 because now, we're into it now. Now, it hit the fan. So
it's unraveling now.
Yeah, this episode of 6, again, the last 5 minutes was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed digging through these comic books and finding all these Easter eggs and through the episodes. So I'm hoping episode 4 breaks through for me.
Jem, you want your grades on the previous?
Well, we know 6s.
No, Jem, you were 3 for episode 1.
No, I did 3 and then 5.
Yep.
And like I said, I knew they were going to get progressively better, so I'm going to give this a strong 7. And I just want you to understand that 7 in comparison to the 5 and the 3 that came before it. So it's just that much better. And I'm thinking we're going to see this keep going all the way up to a 10, man.
I think so too. I am going to go with a 6. I'm going to keep this at a 6. That's where I was last week. I believe next week we're going to say how excited we are for episode 5.
I'm excited for 4.
I'm excited
for 4, but I think 4 is really going to go off and like, all right, everything's getting answered in 5. And then we're going to get the second half of this show is going to be on a different wavelength completely.
4 is going to end crazy.
Yeah, I think 4 is going to end crazy. 5 is going to set up the rest of the show.
Do we get any?
What do we got? 4, episode 5, 6, 7, 8. So episode 4 will end, and I believe the second half of the show will be completely different from the first half.
Let me ask.
We're only going to get probably 80s, 90s, maybe 2000s sitcom. I don't even know if we're going to get to it.
I don't know if we're going to get there.
80s and 90s, and loosely.
Here's a good. This goes right into what you were saying, Jem, because you're running out of episodes, right? So, do we get any episodes or any scenes of an episode that are outside the bubble?
I think so. The last couple got to be all modern time, right?
Well, I know for sure they're going to have an episode that goes back to place Wanda where she is, because they can't just leave that open-ended. We're going to have to see how she got there, whether they do it the last episode, whether they do it the second to last episode. We're going to need that. And like I said, guys, these like Deep Dive said, these episodes are only 21 minutes long with the credits and everything. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
I think the last 3 episodes someone said are an hour each.
No,
really?
That's what I said. That's what somebody said in the chat.
That'd be crazy. Alice Wolf makes a really good point. Is that
Alice Wolf? I mean, we all watched The Mandalorian. We all saw how good that was with special effects and everything. They had a bigger budget on this,
right? And the first 3, I don't want to say it was low budget, right? Because it clearly wasn't. Even though they were, it seems it would be. I'm sure they spent a good amount of money making those. But you would think that there's plenty of money left on that budget to make some the last 6 episodes really crazy. And it probably wouldn't be the last 6. It'll probably be the last 5. It'll probably be like the last 3 that are really out of this park as far as budget wise.
Well, Wookiee Fodder, he makes a good point. They may be an hour each, but 37 minutes in credits.
If they don't make the 90s set Seinfeld, then I'm done.
Oh yeah, dude, it got to be Seinfeld.
I don't think it'll be Seinfeld because there's kids involved.
It's not going to be Seinfeld,
You're
but
going to get
said,
Full House, Family Matters. You're going to get those 90s family sitcoms.
Roseanne. I think it is Roseanne, actually. I think we saw some kind of scene where it looked like Roseanne.
Was it?
See?
I wish they gave you a little preview of next week.
Stream Mako. Yes, the last 3 should almost be an hour each, and there's a total of 9 episodes it shows on IMDb.
Really? I thought it was 8. Everything I read said 8.
Deep Dive Comics makes another great point. Half the budget is in the credits, so
yeah, exactly. Well, they're not spending money on the set. I'll tell you that much.
But are they though? They recreate these sets.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They're spot on. I think the backyard was literally in the trail, like in the opening. It's like it's got to be Brady Bunch, like backyard to a T. Inside looked like it. Yeah, the Full House ultimate connection.
Got it, dude.
Can you imagine that?
Got it.
That'd be great.
Carries.
So, all right, is there anything else you want to add? Because we're coming right up to an hour here. I mean, I liked this episode. We all agree this has been the best episode.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like Jem said, every episode we all agree is the best episode as we progress through.
As it should be, right? Isn't that the way it should be?
And then we could do an overall review on the whole, the whole series last, Garen, and talk about it because we might have a different opinion then.
Yeah, everyone's going to say though it's super slow in the beginning.
We may have a different episode. We may have when the curtain is fully pulled back and everything is fully revealed. We may have a different opinion. We may be like, "Wait, what?" I don't know, or we could be like, "Oh my God, we didn't even think of that." I don't know. We'll see.
I'm just looking forward to the fact that this runs right into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Me too.
So you get a ton of this is all foundation work, right?
Yeah.
It's sloppy. Nobody cares what's under the foundation, even though it's really important when you're building a house, right? It's the most important thing. But we just want to see what, the bathroom and the kitchen and all the bells and whistles look like. And that's going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier. So you got that for all the comic book fans that are hating on this. And I understand why. Don't worry. You're only 6 weeks away from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Well, I also think, too, Falcon and Winter Soldier is a shorter run, isn't it? Less episodes?
That's only 6.
Mm.
So they move quicker.
The production on that looks insane.
It does.
That's like a mini MCU movie. That's all that is. Yeah.
Should be good. So, all right, that's it for us. Guys, what do you got? I know you guys, Pressable Defects, you have your 1,500 subscriber giveaway this week, right? Wednesday?
This Wednesday. Jay,
Still time to get in there.
I'll drop the link.
Yeah, guys.
Drop the link in there.
We got 2 big books. We mentioned it yesterday. We got those Star Wars High Republic #1s, the comic book exclusives. Go look on eBay. They're going for about $800-900 a set. That'll be our grand prize. All you got to do to enter is be a subscriber to Pressable Defects. Go to our 1,500 giveaway video. Leave a comment with hashtag Pressable Defects and like the video, guys. If you like what we do here, we always do comic book reviews. We do spec. We do new comic book day, what's coming out, what to grab on your pull list. So check us out, man.
Jem, you have your big giveaway, right? Another giveaway now, right? Killing Joke?
Yeah, we're giving away the one I got from you.
Yeah.
We're going to give away 10,000. We should probably be at like 107 in the next couple of days. So we're getting close to that. Probably going to go live tomorrow with Fee and just do a little Q&A. I'm psyched today, man. We got an early look at the Uncanny X-Men Volume 4 Omnibus. So I did a little
can't wait for that
overview of that. That was dope. So I'm probably going to drop that maybe on Monday. But also, I got that PCS Megatron in today too, man.
Oh.
That goes with like Starscream, big ass G1 cell shaded. So I got
this week you're putting that out?
Huh?
This week you're putting that out?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's here. I just got to do the review for it.
Nice.
And if you guys are watching the channel, man, just been trying to get super creative with the intros and doing something different every time. The little skits, I'm surprised that I keep getting ideas for even like the Omnibus video got a dope skit. So when you guys watch that, you're gonna be like, oh shit. So yeah, just doing, just trying to have fun, shake it up, trying to up the production quality and keep pushing, man.
You guys think we should do 9 o'clock Saturday next week too?
Let's go,
I
man.
haven't seen it. Does it seem like it's been the same, or has it been a better turnout?
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know if the chat
it's a little higher
or not, but we can't go up against football,
Yeah, last week
we
football
can't
was
stop
on.
now. We gotta do them all.
right?
Yeah.
Right through Saturdays. For me, guys, I've got the 15,000 subscriber giveaway. We just hit 13,000, so 2,000 away from that big number. Monday's video is a Journey into Mystery complete run, showing the keys, showing the books. Those books are all getting graded. They're off to Erod right now. Tuesday, actually, guys, I'm going live Tuesday night with Sentry, the Mad Collector. He just hit 1,000 subscribers on his channel. He's a toy guy. What?
He's blowing up too.
Yeah. He's got the hunting.
How about I was just scrolling through my recommendations and there was some live show, so I just clicked it and it was him on there on some other channel. I stopped and I was like, yo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him on Tuesday. We'll talk toys. I actually just picked up an April O'Neil original 10-back, carded, unpunched for like $35.
There you go.
Oh, yo, that graded turtle. I wanted to get into that. Like right when I was first getting into slabs, I was looking up the AFA is the company, I think, right?
Yep.
And I like those because I don't know if you probably remember Gary back in the day on IG. I had carded turtles, but man, it's like so fragile with the blister and like the card and everything. But like I didn't understand the grading scale and like
I have no idea how it works.
Like what grade it is, if it looks good or not,
I just care about the bubble not being like tinted,
Yellow.
tan, yellow. Yeah, I don't want a yellow bubble.
Hey, did you mention something about me being on an auction with you? Johnny's talking about.
Yeah, we did that. We talked that yesterday. Let's do that too. That's next month, February 26th. Yeah, we brought it up last night, me and Jay. February 26th is the February auction. It's going to be me, Jay, and Jem for the first time. You're coming with runs. You're coming with miniseries. You're coming with oversized hardcovers.
Yeah, maybe even some more stuff. Maybe I might have some small statue buy it nows or something. I want to have some shit, man. I need to get rid of a lot of stuff, man. I got a lot of comics. I need to get this stuff out of here. The walls are closing in on me over here.
And then we have our auction for January next week, next Friday at 7:00. Me, Jay, and Matt. That's January's, and we teased it yesterday. If you guys didn't watch, you can go back yesterday and watch that video. Oh, there's that silver plaque.
Nice.
So a week from yesterday, so Friday, you guys, the 29th, 7 p.m. We have some fun stuff planned for you guys, and then Friday, February 26th is with Gem. And then next Saturday, so we're going to go Friday the auction, Saturday WandaVision. That sound right?
Sounds good.
Sounds like no sleep.
Yeah.
Sounds like no sleep.
No sleep, man.
We got some fun stuff planned for next Friday.
Even Jay doesn't know some of the stuff coming.
Do you have a teaser or you didn't load anything yet?
I loaded everything. Which one?
I don't know if you want to tease something. You don't have to.
Nah.
You gonna hold out?
Jay didn't even see anything.
Oh, I seen it.
Jay saw it. I said it to him.
Yeah, I seen it. I think it's best to wait.
All right, we'll wait
till next week's auction. And that's only the beginning because there is a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, there's some more stuff. There's cool stuff. And Gary, I forgot to do this earlier. I was supposed to do this earlier. So guys, and it'll be good because it'll be for the rewind. So guys, if anybody, we're trying to reach Facebook more. Pressable Defects. I know Gary is. I know Jem does this thing on Facebook already. We're trying to reach Facebook more. So if you could do us, or for in this particular instance, you could do Gary a favor. If you could share this in Facebook, if you're involved in any groups or anything like that, we'd really appreciate it. When we do the auction, we're going to start sharing those in a lot of the buying, selling groups. And at some point, we may even be doing dual stream where we're streaming the auction on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. So we'll see if we could be technical enough to do that. So we're going to start trying to get into Facebook. So if you could take this video, copy it into any of your groups, we'd really appreciate it. We're going to try to get a bigger footprint over there. So sorry, Gary. I know I was supposed to do that earlier, but it'll still be good.
Forgot.
So did I. So it'll be good for the rewind, though.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? But that's it for us, guys. We just hit an hour. I like doing one episode instead of two.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to keep this going. Winter Soldier and all that,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. It worked out good. And one episode at a time, we can really dig into it and get involved. Last week, we were kind of rushing to get 2 episodes within an hour. I don't think any of the other shows are dropping 2 episodes at once, are they?
They had to on here, and if you notice, they gave reviewers the first 3 at once because they knew that the 3 was going to be like, look, we promise it's going to be like a real show.
Yeah.
Like here.
Yeah.
Here. So we have to assume then it's going to really go off the handle next episode. And I'm saying 5 is going to be the one. 4 is going to leave us like salivating, like, oh man,
5.
I can't wait for 5. That's how good next episode's going to be.
I think 4 jumps right into it, man.
All right.
Look at Jay being optimistic. The one guy who hated the show the second it started.
I know.
Consistent grades. From
6s across the board from the worst episode to the best.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And you got Jem going on tomorrow. What time, Jem? Tomorrow?
I go on like noon Eastern.
So there you go. You and Steph going on?
Yeah.
You're going to cover this?
Maybe. We might casually talk about it. It's really a chat-driven show. We don't really usually keep topics. Sometimes we do, but
I usually jump in there, but work's been really busy.
It's all good, man.
I'll be there tomorrow.
So there you go, guys. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you. Stop by Gems tomorrow at noon Eastern. And all of our content this week. And then next Friday is the auction. Have a great night.
Let's go, McGregor.